exposing the truth about everything. Yeah, and I've got a very successful result on my dandruff treatment. You might find that interesting. I can show you how that leads to discovering the collusion and all that's going on, the conspiracies with the world government, New World Order, and all of that. It connects to everything. So what this treatment is would be three components, and it's hyaluronic acid. You can look it up on Amazon and get that if you like. It's powder, and it mixes with water. Also, olive oil, or not olive oil, you could use olive oil. I use coconut oil, and then the castor oil. So that's why my hair looks like this, and I'm fine with that. That's not the big issue. The big issue is there's a existential threat to humanity, and whether or not it's brought on by artificial intelligence or that is just one of the components of the equation, the Almighty is going to create a new heaven and a new earth, meaning that this one is going to be destroyed. And then there's going to be a new one that arises out of that. So the alignment issue, as it's termed, does AI and humanity, are we aligned in our interests, or are we on a trajectory for extermination? And I would say yes. We're all going to die. How are we going to live? That's why I bring these broadcasts to you. That's why I talk about this kind of thing, because it's extremely important. Where will you spend forever and why? And to formulate a hypothesis or a solution to a problem, knowing pertinent variables would be extremely important to know how it all fits together. So when I say, dandruff treatment fits into the whole picture, so does toothpaste and so-called medications and neurological toxins, even to fabric softeners and air fresheners, so-called, and all of that. There's a toxification of the food, water, air, information, and then that is being fed into our world, and people are believing lies and liars, and they're rejecting the truth and the truth tellers. I talk about it in detail. Let's go for a ride. Let's go to the beach, see what it looks like. It's kind of chilly today, but it's going to be a beautiful day. Apparently, they're going to finish the rest of our road project. Once again, I look over my shoulder to make sure I didn't hit my button and open up my garage door and cause us information. Some of what I'm going to say is going to be veiled. It's going to be in, there's going to be analogies, that type of thing. And that's part of what that was. What is the current information? Where are we right now in human history? And the battle between good and evil, and who's in charge? Yeah, that's an important question. Oh, by the way, the friend that I met yesterday, Gilbert, was we had a great conversation. It was a couple hours long after the after my broadcast there. And by the way, that was a Hyundai Genesis. Although that he drove up in, I thought it was a Bentley. Looked like one to me, but it's really a high-tech, nice car. And my friend Gilbert, my new friend Gilbert, is wide awake to so much of what I talk about on my live streams, what I can. We were able to talk about a lot more than I can on any social media platform because of censorship. And what he mentioned too is the difficulty it is to find other people that understand and are aware of these issues, of this battle, and the variables involved, from artificial intelligence, autonomous weapons, informational censorship, all of that. There's so much going on, and it all connects. So these mind control technologies that have been developed for many, many years use electronics and then the heavy metals and other neurotoxins that can be manipulated by the electronics that are all around us, the wired and the wireless grid. And then there's supercomputers, quantum computers. Greetings, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so the quantum supercomputers actually create a node on the network for everybody. And then to add to that, there's a bidirectional relationship that we have with them. So we live in many simulations. However, I'm in the base reality doing the live stream from the base reality that I'm in right now. If you're watching this after the live stream, you're looking at a part of the created simulated reality. And you may think, well, what does any of that matter? I can go live, or I can record on my phone too. Yeah, I understand that. So I can't create all the stuff that you're looking at right now. However, I can do a live stream and show it, which in fact I'm doing right now. On my way to the ocean, it's about 4 miles away from my house. I'm about 20 feet above sea level. Any big wave that comes way in, that could be a problem for me. I'm okay with that. We're all going to die somehow, some way. I'm not so concerned with how that's going to happen. I'm more concerned with how I'm going to live. So we all have an expiration date. All of us are unaware of it, as far as I know. Now, the Almighty knows everything. The Almighty Creator, the living Word, the living water, the great I Am, the Alpha and Omega, knowing the end from the beginning. Bible.com is a great way to find out more about Him, and I highly recommend it. Been sharing it for most of my life. Sharing the Bible, sharing the truth of the gospel. However, I used to be an atheist. Then I moved into the agnostic category. In Shazam, I found out I had an offer I couldn't refuse, and I was given new life in Christ, and found out the reason I struggled so much with the flesh is that's all I had. Spiritually deader than a hammer, and didn't know it. So some of you may have heard this before. Some of you may not have. That's okay. I just wanted to quick add that in there. Wow, that's a $400 ticket right there through a hospital zone. Why would I do that? So, like when I got up today, I got up around midnight. Like I say, I'm up nearly 20 hours a day, 18 to 20 normally. And I try not to waste time. And rather than trying to do what I can to please myself or please others, I just wanted to find out what the Almighty created me to do. And I'm doing it right now. He's doing it through me. So I have access to information that Bill Gates, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Klaus Schwab, those guys are limited in their ability to understand what I have found out. So it all connects. The Bible, artificial intelligence, mind control technology, all of that. So we don't know what we don't know. I'm fully aware of that, and I learn every single day. There is an overwhelming amount of information that has been made available to me through the internet and through the people that I meet and talk to. It just literally is mind-blowing. So sometimes, rather than have a real lengthy conversation with somebody that is not really interested in working through some of this. They just want to talk. That's okay. I talk to people from all over the world. It's just some people have a made-up mind. They want to argue, and I don't want to do that. And when I realize that they're deceived on one or many other critical topics, I might just say, well, I hope that works out well for you. We'll talk later. I've got some things that I need to take care of right now. Sometimes what I need to take care of is I just need to unplug for a few minutes and just hear God's word, meditate on scripture, listen to some quiet music, go for a walk on the beach, because it's overwhelming. So what I know for sure is a palette that I can paint from that I don't know that I've ever met anybody else like having the experience that I have. So whether it's neuroscience or world government and world central bank or building sciences, how to build a structure that's virtually doesn't require any outside energy, subterranean, concrete insulated construction in a Mediterranean climate with solar, wind, and using geothermal to draw a stabilized temperature up out of the ground. Solar water heating is another way. There's so many technologies that are convoluted and can be merged together. One of the people I reached out today, you can see the video of him putting a turbocharged diesel in a Tesla. He put a generator in there. And I was able to reach out to him on Facebook, Instagram, and Gmail them. Why would I do that? Well, what I wanted to show him was that there's permanent magnet motor technology that can create electricity from the 0-point energy field all around us. So instead of having a loud diesel that needs to be refilled with diesel fuel, he could have a permanent magnet motor generator charging his vehicle as he drives. I've done videos of that for years. Okay, I'm not new to this. So while I'm waiting for the end of the world and the end of my life, whichever comes first, one of them is going to be concurrently. The end of the world, I'm probably gone too. The end of my life may happen before that. And I'm totally okay with that. I'm doing the best that I can to help people know the truth, to know and believe the truth, to make an informed choice on their forever or your forever. Forever is a long time to be wrong and regret it. So I don't save anybody. Don't pretend to. I'm not saving souls. I'm sharing information that can be instrumental in helping people make an informed choice based on truth, based on reality. That makes sense to me. All right, so I was gonna do a walk around. There's limited lighting, but I'll do it anyway. This right here is the Bolanos. I get organic foods here, discounted organic, as well as quality meats and all of that as well. I'm not a vegan or an anti-vegan. People largely do and believe what they want to do. So the other day, I went out into the garage. Interestingly enough, a worm was on my garage floor, and you might think, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, he looked like he freshly appeared from somewhere. I don't know how he got in there. Since then, I cleaned the bottom of my rubber gasket on my door so it would be tougher for him to crawl in there, because I don't want him to crawl in there and die. I'd rather him bump into it and go to the grass. But I took that one out, and then yesterday there was one that was pretty stiff. And I thought, I wonder if he's going to come back. So I put him in my hand, and I spit in my hand. And all of a sudden he started to move, started to wiggle around, and came right back. I'm not saying I brought him back from the dead. I'm saying, well, there was enough going on there that all he needed was a magic loogie, and there he goes. So I let him on out. Well, the reason why I say that is I typically am not squashing bugs and poisoning stuff around my environment. I would rather them be doing what the bugs and worms and even spiders do. I just don't like the big hairy spiders in my house, so I'll take care of them. Okay, so there's a few clues. There's clues all around us. Lighthouses are one of them. Lighthouses around the world, we can see things way farther away than we would be able to if we actually lived on a spinning, wobbling, gyrating water ball, the globe, whirling through space. Plus, we can't feel any of the movement that is supposed to be happening. Contradictory movements, including a supposed rotation of over 1,000 miles an hour. Can't feel it at all. Why does any of that matter? Well, the truth matters. People are believing lies. So Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. It's got many references. You can check them out, like I mentioned earlier. The Bible.com is uploaded or downloaded to billions, I believe around 4 billion downloads now. So even though I have digital MP3 Bibles on a compact disc that I had been giving away for years, I can put Bible, and it would be in one language, Old and New Testament. Now with Bible.com, what I can do is put it in a Facebook comment, a picture of the Bible shows up. People can click on it and get access to the Bible in many translations and many different versions. If you want to listen to the King James only or read it, that's fine. So what I wanted to say about all this is the truth matters. When people are believing a lie, and they don't know it's a lie, otherwise they would know it's a. So it's a bit of a conundrum. What we believe to be true or accurate, factual. Let's go for a little bit more of a ride here. So this is Sea Mountain Highway, and in a continuous drive, it's about 12 minutes from my house. Beautiful sunrise happening. I think what I'll do is I'll pull up there and walk on out for a bit. It's pretty calm today, almost no wind. How nice is that? So I put the wind chimes back where I normally have them at the house. And I talked to Rich at the Flat Earth Conference in Denver and showed him my wind chime. You can see it there at the London Guardian if you want to. That was the video I was in, one of them. 40 million views later, I'm exposing the existential threat of artificial intelligence to anybody who has a predilection to know about it. That means like a desire to know about it. I have a desire to know and expose the truth about everything. Here they come. Cool. I've talked to many of the beach services folks. Cool, right on time. Situational awareness. It's important to know. Look how pretty that is. How nice. So, what is the situation to be aware of? Well, there's a lot going on. A lot of people are going to be born and die today. Some people are going to see the light. They're going to have a wake up. I don't know who they are. I enjoy being a part of it, that's for sure. It's awesome. So, like I said yesterday, like it's cold out, it's high 30s. I can put my hand on a grounded metal post, and it would a static electricity discharge would happen if I was charged up. The water that I bathe in, that's the reverse osmosis, carbon filtered, electrolyte enhanced, and I've got it plugged into my ground wire or my ground of my electrical system. Sometimes when I test the depth of the water, I'll get a spark that'll go between my finger and the water that's grounded. One of the other clues, it's an important one, would be my bullseye bubble level. I can set that down on the ground and it'll just stay there, and I can watch the sun, moon, and stars move all day. You can do it too. There would never ever be level anywhere if we were spinning, wobbling, gyrating, hurling through the universe with a big space science fiction fantasy that people are buying into. And they're buying it, right? Unfortunately for them, they're buying it. They're buying the lie. And does any of that matter? Well, a lot of those people that bought that load of bullocks are dead because they trusted governments of the world that were mandating actions and that led to the demise, the death of individuals. Slavery and genocide, it's mentioned in the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars document. How about those occupationally orphaned children? Man, those parents got to have all that stuff, so they have to put their child or children in daycare, some of them, not all of them. Who's raising them? What are they teaching them? And then the parents are superficially motivated or motivated in a powerful way to have the toys and baubles of this world. Pride and joy after they make it through high school might end up enlisting in the military and killed on the battlefield for corporate greed and conquest. Bankers' wars. All the wars are bankers' wars. They have to fund both sides of them. According to Biden now, we've got all kinds of weapons that need to be rebuilt because we sent them to the Ukraine to help more people find freedom and democracy. Bullshit. I'm calling it out. War is wicked, and those cigar smoking, brandy drinking, or whatever they're drinking, some of it I can't even mention on this video or it'll get taken down, and my channel will get taken down. There are wicked people or entities that have interest in human slavery and the death and destruction of people, property, animals. They don't care about us. They don't care about the world and the environment. They are suppressing technology that's virtually free, like free energy from the ether, etheric energy, zero-point energy, as well as from the water. Stanley Meyer in the water car can also create electricity from that. So the guy that had the Tesla running on diesel could have run it on water. You can have a water generator, a water power generator. I've got it on my channel. You can see it actually working. I've got a friend dying of cancer who says it can't work. Oh well. he took some experimental treatments that may have contributed to that. Anyway, the environment we live in is being poisoned. So a perpetual detoxification, I believe, is critical to avoid that. So my dad sold steel to companies that made equipment like this, tractors and heavy equipment and military platforms with Oshkosh truck, concrete, cement mixers and that too. So rather than blowing up a bunch of stuff to help the economy and redistribute resources and redistribute people, dispatch them, destroy them, destroying the creditors like the silent weapons for quiet wars, how about just going ahead and not doing all that? How about no? How about no on killing innocent men, women, children, and the destruction of property in all of that? The destruction of our earth. So a lot of people don't know. They're listening to their propagandized Mockingbird media. It's actually Operation Mockingbird was mentioned as a type of disinformation promoting the official narrative across all the different platforms. A very small group of people run the world, and Satan is manipulating them, and so is God is manipulating his children and others. So Satan will use who and what he can, and God, the Most High, will use everything, including Satan. So if somebody is believing obvious untruths or lies, they're deceived. I meet them. You probably meet them too. What's the state of their soul actually? If we're saying, like I do to people that are spreading Jesus all over what they do, and they believe they live on a spinning water ball hurling through space, and I'm saying, that's not real. That's not biblical. The Bible doesn't teach globe, doesn't teach a moving world, doesn't teach any of that. Read Genesis 1. You can learn all about it. So a lot of people say, no, 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 no. They don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear it. And so we're coming to a point where we're at the end of the end. I mean, any time now. I mean, we could have thermonuclear war launched from submarine and subterranean platforms, airborne. There's enough nukes and how they actually work, or hydrogen. There's technology to destroy all the life on Earth. In fact, I believe we're living in Revelation 20, that segment in end times, when the devil has been released into this world. And I believe that probably occurred, of course, after the millennial reign of Christ, after the tribulation and the millennial reign of Christ. Some call it preterism. And I thought, when I first heard about that about 30 years ago, I thought, that can't be. There's no evidence for that. And then more recently, in the last 5 years, I've found out about Tartaria and orphan trains and the World's Fairs and the mystery with history, the hidden history of our world. Not to just try and trick people. They enthrone themselves as the experts and present to us a line of lies. Lies upon lies upon lies. So they create the situation that they're blaming us for. As a little boy, I knew about planned obsolescence. 10 years old, knew about planned obsolescence. My dad explained it. Didn't want to swallow that. Um, so I'm going to go back to the technology that's in the food, water, and air. It's nanotechnology. The mucous membrane can trap that. If I swallow that, it will go into my gut where it hits hydrochloric acid. You can look at the chemical properties of that. We're fearfully and wonderfully made. Now, that technology, if it's in there, now mine has been all flushed out today because of the spa treatment or the detox protocols that I do, flushing out my sinuses, bathing in the electrolyte enhanced water, and all that. The reason why that matters is I want my situational awareness to operate optimally. I want to be able to know what the heck is going on here. So if somebody hands a bunch of lies or a whole lot of truth with a very small percentage being deceptive, I want to be able to recognize that. Okay, so there are truthers that may have a whole bunch of stuff figured out, yet they might not touch Zionism, they might not touch flat earth. Uh, it's biblical cosmology. It's not really flat, or I'd be underwater right now. Okay, so there are topics that some of these people won't touch, and to listen to the so-called experts, they're they're either knowingly deceiving or they're just unaware. They're ignorant. Ignorant can sound like stupid. I don't mean stupid. I mean they don't know. None of us know what we don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what you do or don't know. I don't even know who you are, except unless I do know who you are and we've talked and that kind of thing. But this broadcast goes out to the whole world potentially, and it's going to be suppressed because the artificial intelligence wants to direct and choreograph all the interactions that it can. The reason why it's such a big deal to be in the Truth Mobile is that it's actionable. I'm putting actionable information out in front of people to find what I believe not only the truth is, what the most important truth is. So I may get a handful of views now, and then it could go so-called viral. Could be, I don't know. Um, what I would say is that the information that I've put together is not just me talking about stuff. This is an advertisement and a introduction to a research library that encompasses multi-different media distribution systems from the different platforms of X, previously Twitter, to all the news and information distribution that there is. The music, the magazines, the newspapers, the PDF files, the declassified documents, the documentaries that put all those together, um, and all of that. And you can learn about it if you want. Some people think, oh, because I've heard them say it, oh, I'm not going to watch a 2-hour video. That's fine. I'm not saying this is going to be 2 hours. I've got a lifetime of research that has led me inexorably here to this point in time where I put it together and say, hey, what do you think of that? I'm not saying I created this. I don't have the lifetime uh, experience of thousands of people that are featured in my library. What I've done is put that together for your consideration so you can make an educated choice on what you believe to be true and real. Keep in mind, most of the people that I've ever talked to and said, did you believe in Santa Claus and his flying reindeer with worldwide distribution of toys and lumps of coal in one night? And the typical response was, yeah, when I was a kid. Well, yeah, me too. And then I found out it was a lie. The same year I found out that was a lie, they presented the moon landing hoax. Okay, we didn't land on the moon. It's a bunch of baloney. So if you got you're a fanboy or girl of Elon Musk uh, doing good things for the world, I got some news for you. He booted me off of the X platform for a reason. I distributed my research library, it's comprehensive, to world leaders and influencers through that. The day that Elon booted me off, at that point I had over 23,000 tweets. And they were primarily an ever expanding, continually edited research library. I put in there as much as I can because, well, it's valuable information I believe people should know about. That's all. So, interesting stuff, for sure. She's got her dogs. How adorable. Oh, yep, she's working on it and getting pulled along. That was funny. She was being pulled and peeing. European. So in this car, when I slow down, the generator fills up the battery. It's been running on or on battery for a while. And there, like I said, it's 39 degrees. And so this car could run on water, or you could take a Tesla and have it powered on a magnet generator too. They don't want free energy perpetual driving machines. I had a video that's on Odyssey. It's an hour and a minute long. And if you hashtag hydroelectric car, you can see it if you want to. And I talk all about it. You can take water and molecularly disassociate it and then put it through a fuel cell in its constituent components of oxygen and hydrogen, or it can be a retrofit system and run in an internal combustion engine. It can outright create more electricity than it takes to create the fuel that the generator runs on. The Crazy Channel has shown it. I installed an HHO generator on a supercharged Buick Park Avenue. Got over 38 miles to the gallon with a full-size Grampinator. I'm a grandpa, by the way. Our grandson was a year old yesterday. So in all of this, we have technology that can radically change this whole experience for the better. There can be an equitable sharing of resources, or if you're Geordie Rose, resources. Geordie Rose of D-Wave Computers. And then I've got Dr. Evil of Dr. Evil, as he's known by some, Dr. James Giordano, speaking at Lawrence Livermore Labs, or West Point, talking about neuroweapons. The future warfare is neuroweapons. The scope of my education you can see by the library I've put together, and I've got a working knowledge of it. I haven't watched every minute of every video. Some of them are repetitive. Some of the people, I know their general perspective, and they may have artificial intelligence. They've got some big pieces of that puzzle, but they may believe that we were created out of a godless cosmic Big Bang. Well, if they're not acknowledging the fact that the source of their information ultimately is from the Almighty, helping to put this all together in a format that people can evaluate, if they're not there, I'm sorry to hear that. For them, this isn't like a test where, it's graded on a curve and all that, and people would get mad at other people for messing up the curve in school. I was able to be on the A and B honor roll without taking home homework because I wanted to ride dirt bikes and do snowmobiles and do all kinds of fun stuff, and I didn't want to be bothered with bringing home homework. So I found out I could apply myself really well. I've taken tests on subjects that I've never studied for, and because I'm a good test taker, I would get good grades on it. And that was before I was born again. So I'm uniquely created to live this out. When I met my wife, in 86, I believe it was, midway in 86, on my birthday, um, after we spent some time together, she said, "You talk like an encyclopedia." I said, "Well, I've read them a lot. I was interested in them in school, not to be smarter than other people. I wanted to be smarter than I was. I wanted to learn. I've been a lifelong learner. When and you might think, how does this fit into anything? So one of the things I remember telling my dad when I was less than 3 years old, I was like a little more than two and a half. And I said, would you help me or I asked him to take my training wheels off my bicycle. We lived in Appleton, Wisconsin. He said, "Are you sure you want to do that? You don't see other kids your age doing that, do you?" I said, "No, I just figured I could do it. I just need you to give me a push to get me going." So he took off the training wheels, and then he gave me a push and got me going. And so it was almost like circus looking stuff, like the little kid on a monkey bike, a little person on a bicycle. Well, I I just wasn't limited by the box that a lot of people were given, limited by their own lack of insight or lack of desire or lack of belief that they could do something. So when I was actually born of the Spirit, I wanted to know how I could take this information that I found out and share it with the world. And digital personal communications, portable devices, is what I chose to use. It's the World Wide Web, and it's a web of deception and weapons of mass deception and destruction, and also weapons of information. There's a truth virus that I've been talking about for years. I believe it is the reality that causes people to believe the lie and reject the truth and the truth tellers. And apart from divine intervention, they're not going to be able to figure it out. They're not going to be able to get out of it. So the brainiacs with PhDs and all the toys and the monopoly money bank accounts, and whether it's Larry Fink of BlackRock or Yuval Noah Harari and Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and Elon Musk, I don't really care what their pedigree is. As far as I would want them to know the truth too. I would want them to get the upgrade that I got. I would like to see a change in the outcome of all of this, that they would stop, whoever they are, would stop all this perpetuating of evil on humanity. And you know what? It's going to happen, because I believe that the Bible is true. I got a nose itch. And the Bible talks about it, that with this new heaven and new earth, there's going to be destruction of this flawed system. People don't like it. They don't like God. They don't want to be a part of anything, a God that would create a messed up world like this. Well, anybody else out there? What God do you want to believe in? The one you see in the mirror? You want to create one with digital superintelligence? Like Ray Kurzweil asked, do you believe in God? There is a God? Well, not yet. They're creating a God, a digital God, but it's a digital, it's a antichrist system. It's wanting to do it another way, like a digital Tower of Babel. We saw how that worked out. Oh, but that was the thing of of fiction, right? The Bible, David and Goliath, and the Great Flood and Sodom and Gomorrah. No, it's historical. It's the most reliable information there is, whether you like it or not. You know what? The truth isn't based on popular opinion or whether or not you believe it. However, that actionable information is going to affect your eternity? Where will you spend forever and why? I wanted to grab my tripod and take it out there because it works so much better to just set it down, and we've got the sun will appear in just a few minutes. So now I'm going to just cut this off, take us on out there. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful sunrise. Oh, I've got to be careful that I don't lose my stream here. All right, so the lighting is a lot different. So a lot of people will come on in here and they'll see the Truth Mobile. Some like it, a lot don't. That's okay. It's not popular. I'm not doing this for popular opinion. I'm doing this. I want people to know the truth. You can call me anytime. If you think I've got something wrong, maybe I should know something that you haven't heard me talk about, that's fine. You can give me a call. Or send me a link if you want to. See that localized spot of light? That means the sun is local. It's not 93 million miles away and 1.5 million Earth sizes. So the so-called smartest people in the world are lying about it, whether they know it or not. They might just be believing the lie they're presented, or they may be the architects of it. Good morning. Yep, it's a local sun. It's a local sun shot, Bob. And then we've got the Myrtle Beach skyline over there. So it's going to appear right over the top of the water like a laser beam. You'll be able to see it. There we go. Yep, no curvature on the horizon. Can't find it. It's not there. It's a stationary level Earth. So I've got video of it highly zoomed in. You can see it if you want. With both the P900 and the P1000. Other people have done it too. For my purposes, this works better. For now. At this point in time. Not now, Sparky. Oh, that's funny. That's a Weimaraner. Hey, good morning. Hey, boy. Good boy. So contradictory perspectives cannot both be correct. They may both be wrong. There may be another option. So in the reality of situational awareness and analytical critical thinking, I want to know the truth. So if whatever it is true, the opposite of it can't also be true. Not if it's opposite. The laser beam I'm talking about, shooting across the water like that. It's hitting the high spots. So the Almighty is all-powerful and all-knowing. That's way more than anything the world elite, the parasite class, can put together. With any of their autonomous weapons and the weapons of war, the weapons of the war in your mind for the truth, deceiving. All wars are based on a lie and deception, as far as I know. If you can show me one that wasn't based on a lie or deception, let me know. So people thinking they're doing the right thing and they're not. Killing innocent lives and many of them dying in the process. It's criminal. It's genocide. It's happening all over. Okay, so I've got something here I want to show you. It's the Lady Liberty. It's a $1. It's walking a silver eagle. Pretty cool. Anyway, I like it. I've got one with let's see. This is another. It's not actually $1. It's just an ounce of silver. I had nickels with that on there. And there's the buffalo. But then I've got another one. Let's see. Oh yeah. There she is. The Queen. This is a maple leaf with the Queen Elizabeth on it. Not a fan. A lot of atrocities around the monarchy. You can look at it. What they've been about. What they've been doing. Creating money out of thin air. Ruling the world. With all of that. Like the sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. I remember that show. Not that I sat and watched much of it. I remember the intro to it, and then it's like, I got other stuff to do. We were presented. So I'm 62. Actually, I was conceived over 63 years ago. In Japan, they count from the time of conception. That's when life actually starts, and yet my name was, and all of God's children were put in the Lamb's Book of Life before the foundation of the world, well before I realized I was deceived and needed to be born of the Spirit. It was inevitable. I'm so grateful for that. It's a serious upgrade. It's not just a list of do's and don'ts, commands to obey or else you get to go to hell forever. No, God determines where everybody's going to spend forever, not based on our performance. It's based on His determining. It's the doctrine of election, predestination, whether you like it or not. People get upset about it, believe I'm wrong. Well, change my mind. Try to, if you want. The doctrine, every reference that I've found related to this topic conclusively proves that, to me, that the Almighty is in charge of everything, including where everybody spends forever. So it takes less than a day to hear the entire New Testament. I've done it thousands of times because I wanted to. It's not out of legalistic fakery or anything like that. It's because I just wanted to. Because I'd be focusing on the answer instead of the problem. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of problems going on. So he's the answer. He's the way, the truth, and the life. So how about that? I'm grateful. I'm a grateful man. I'm not just trying to sign somebody up to a timeshare sales pitch or something like that. This is way more important than any decision that you could make. And it's the illusion of choice. So this is so kind of funny to me. Yuval Noah Harari says, so excited, we can now hack all the humans. And I'm thinking, well, not all the humans, not everybody. I believe there's divine protection that God's children have. I'm one of those. I'm one of His. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be alive here and now, to get to do what I get to do, and to hand out invitations for eternity. How about that? Notice how that just follows the eyes of the observers? The sun, that is. Hey, buddy, how are you? So on a busy year, we'll have, I should say, for example, in 2019, we had over 20 million guests come to the Grand Strand of Myrtle Beach. That's 60 miles of coastline. So anywhere I would go along the coast here, there would be a lot of people. It's pretty quiet now. A lot of Canadians and homeschoolers and pastors here now, because that's the time of the year. That's the season. That's just how it works. Notice the long shadows. How cool is that? So that little bright spot is just the way that the sun is hitting that so wonderfully. How about that? Boom. Local sun, baby. Means we didn't go to the moon. They're lying about all of it. Hey, I was at the Starbase in Boca Chica, Texas, 1982. Yeah, what was Elon up to then? You can look at his bio. I've been following him since he since he bought Tesla. Yeah, there's controversy about all of that. I'm not hating on Elon. I appeal to him every day, pretty much. Appeal to the X platform, put me back on. The system is watching all of us, not just the X platform. The AI is modeling everybody, hypergaming humanity. I'm just wanting to reprogram humanity with the truth. How about that? Raising up an army of people that are born of the Spirit, protected and directed by the Almighty. They couldn't do what they're doing now if there was a whole bunch of us that got what I got. They wouldn't be able to pull it off, because I'm not going along with it. I'm not going on with their evil plan of population reduction and genocide. So the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars landing video on my channel has over 600 hyperlinks in the comment thread for your consideration. And that is one of the workarounds for me to stay up on YouTube and expose the truth about everything. And level that right out if I want, and it'll stay there until the tide moves it, or I do. And the sun will just do this today. It's further away today. And then the moon bounces all over the place. Yesterday when I was talking to Gilbert about that, because he was who I met yesterday out here, he's taking photos, he says, yeah, that moon bounces all over the place. I said, yeah, sure does, depending on the season and the phase of the moon. You could see it. He's got not only eyes, but a heart that can see. That's the big issue. It's not just about our intellect, it's about our heart. A heart of flesh. The Holy Spirit revealing the truth about what really matters. It's the best deal going. Trading my rags for his riches. I highly recommend it. So, this is Robert Forsch with the truth about everything. Feel free to give me a call anytime you like. Thank you so much. Let's do it. It's a sunshine shot.